Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd do a build video, and I wanted to get some work done on this ship anyway. I didn't get much time to work on it last night or this morning, but finally got a little time to work on this. So what I wanted to do in this video is to build out a warp drive room, and it's going to go right here. So in this location, kind of in the back of the saucer on the main level. Plenty of room for the warp drive in here, but it's obviously completely unfinished at this point in time. A couple other things that it'll probably have is a gravity generator as well as a pentaxid tank, maybe a fuel tank off to the side somewhere, something like that. But anyway, I figured I'll just get started on this and see how it turns out. So there's going to be probably 2 points of entry into the room. One is going to be right there, and there'll probably be another one coming down this eventual hallway here going into the room. So I wanted to make sure that the display for this is kind of like so it's set back a little bit, at least 2 blocks away from this, probably 3 blocks actually. So let's first work on putting the warp drive in place and see if we're going to like it wherever it fits here. Now I can raise it up too and put it on the back wall, or I can even rotate it to be kind of like this. I'm kind of wondering if I shouldn't try this approach to see what happens with it. So it would be nice, and it'd be like 2 blocks distance, well actually 3 blocks distance from this, probably a walk path right here, and keeping the player away from the warp drive. Keep in mind that the warp drive puts out radiation and things, 1 block radius all the way around it. So if you want to try to make sure the players don't suffer from that kind of thing, it's good to put up some kind of wall, some kind of barrier around the warp drive, so people don't get hurt from it, basically. So what I'm going to do now to start with here is I'm going to just fill in some blocks along the floor here, kind of a lot in this area. It's going to be kind of a walk path, so we'll just kind of make the whole floor match. I'll even do that in the back part here a second. And then we want to make this look pretty somehow. So on the sides here, of course I want to keep the players away from it as well, but it would be kind of neat to put something in here to kind of see through the warp drive a little bit. And I'm thinking about maybe some roundy blocks. Although there is another set of roundy blocks now, I could try to see what happens with those. Although I think it's going to take up more space if I did go this route, but it could be kind of neat, but I'm not sure on that. Let's just see what happens if we run one of these, and then another one of these up on the top to make this kind of big round piece here. And then maybe do the same thing on the other side so everything lines up right. Again, I'm just trying to mix it up. I've done a lot of these warp drive rooms before in various ships, so it's I always try to mix up the display design a little bit on all of these. So that's kind of different. What's going on here now? See if we can get some here. I'm going to put in just some more full blocks around the ceiling right in this area for now. And then I also got to think about where the pentaxid tank is going to chill out as well. And maybe the pentaxid tank can go right in front of this thing here. I got to also see what blocks I can edit up here. It looks like I can edit any of the blocks I do want. What I mean by that is like I could remove these blocks and put in a alternative piece so that's carved in on the ceiling side of it, keeping the outside the same, but adding a little bit of detail on the inside. And why I just grabbed steel blocks is because we're now getting to the outside of the ship, and it is a steel ship standard, so that basically means all the exterior blocks out here I do want to be steel, anything that's visible here. So what I'm going to do on this row here is let's just use a fairly simple block right now and try to make like a little ridged layer here or something to add a little detail, and then try to make it kind of work with the ceiling here a bit too. I'm wondering if I shouldn't mix that up into two different kinds of blocks in this general area here. So we've got that. And let's put in, what else could work here? How about a couple of these thin ones here? Oh wait, these are steel too. Some of these don't have to be steel. That one does. This one doesn't. This it adds a little bit of complications in when you're doing this, but at the end it hopefully will work out. So we'll get in one of these, and then we got to go back to steel on this one. And then we want to maybe build a little bit of framework going across the ceiling that comes down to this other location over here. So what I'm going to do now is just put in some full blocks across this row, which will probably stay that way. If I can use full blocks, it's going to be better for size class and things like that too. So areas that, you know, it's possible I could dig into all kinds of things and add a little detail up there, but it would just keep on ramping up the size class, and I'm trying to watch it with the size class. So let's put in those there. We'll switch back over to carbon and put in one of these. And how about on the back side here, let's go with one of these things that kind of make it look like it swings down and connects to the ceiling over here. And we can get away with 2 carbon ones of those, and then we'll put in a steel one here. Now on the inside here, that is pretty thin, although I don't think it matters. It doesn't really matter too much on the hit points, I wouldn't think, in this general area here. And should this block do anything special, or should it just kind of go down into the well, actually, let's what happens if we try to run another one of these here? It's going to make a weird kind of ridge line on the ceiling area, which, yeah, could be all right. It's I'd rather see that than nothing at all. You know, it's always trying to get a little bit of detail in there by messing with the different blocks and things like that. So we'll get a couple, actually there's only 2 of the inside ones. So this area of the ceiling is only going to be like this, right in front of the warp drive for now. And let's put in a little something on the ceiling there too. So we got 2 blocks that are kind of thin blocks right now, but we could put in like a full one like that. That's kind of boring. Oh, actually, we're going to need that over here anyway. Never mind. Yeah, I will put in a full one. I was going to put in an alternative block, but then you'd go right through the outer hull right there, and that would be a problem. So, all right. So we've got a little bit of block work there. Now we've got a couple areas that are lining up to the wall here, and kind of want to do something with that too. But again, I don't want. Well, you know, this is a double wide path right there, so let's try this. Let's put in a couple of these, and then on the bottom, I don't know, maybe I could make that come out a little bit like that. Alright, so now we got to think about a pentaxid tank and a barrier in front of the warp drive, or some kind of something to keep the players out and maybe add some more detail to it somehow. So let's play with, let's see what shapes we've got over here in the round pieces. If we, don't really want to see the top of the warp drive. I'm kind of wondering if I'm doing this backwards. Maybe could kind of flip this around, or maybe that's just not the right block for this. Let's, it's a higher size class block too, so it doesn't really look very good. I will opt out of it and go for something that is less polygons, basically. Alright, so we got a little bit of that in there, and on this part here, let's put in these really thin ones here. So now we're kind of covering up the top of the warp drive. And I obviously I do want to keep part of it exposed here. So, now this is an advanced warp drive to start with, so it doesn't need the standard upgrade, I guess, in Reforged Eden. But the tricky part here is going to be how to make this look neat and keep the player away. And then again, the pentaxid tank. Should the pentaxid tank be outfitted somehow directly in front of the warp drive itself? And one way or another, I don't know if that would be yeah, it could work out, I think. Yeah, it sort of works there. And okay, so then I could always put a fence in front of here too, which generally looks pretty good, but just wanted to make this part look kind of neat here too. Let's try something. Let's try one of these on both sides, and let's see what. I don't think, actually I was thinking of a certain block that I don't think exists. There were some new blocks, and maybe it was one of them, but what I'm actually looking for is a half block like this. And I don't think there is such a thing out there. Well, what else can we do? Let's get rid of that block since there's not much that lines up to it in the game here. Tell you what, let's take out these two side pieces here and put in maybe just some straight pieces, I guess. Or I don't know if that's really going to do much, but it'd be kind of neat to get like one more barrier down here. Again, trying to make this look like it's this whole area was designed to hold this specific part, and there's weird connections to it and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's that same block again, kind of reversed, but no, I don't like that one. So let's put in the simpler version without the edge on it on the one side there. And okay, so we have some exposed warp drive, but not a lot. I don't like what I got going on here yet. Alright. It's these little things. You can get hung up on these little fine detail-y things that I kind of am doing. Okay, so we're going to open that back up again. I didn't like bringing that down like that. That just wasn't really feeling too good. Okay, so but let's change this. Let's change the inside pieces, and let's go with a straight block. Or actually, let's open it up. Let's use a couple of these things so you can kind of see through there. And make some beams, and on this side, do we want to do more like that? Like kind of make a bit of a cage here. And then put out a layer or a fence. Hold on, let me get some fence pieces here. And I've been trying to use the fancier fences here since it's a Star Trek ship and typically fairly fancy. So if we had something like that here on the outside layer, so you got plenty of room to walk through here. You're going to be pushed away from the warp drive. However, the pentaxid tank itself, I think, will give you just a bit of radiation and stuff if I leave it how it is. Now, there's something else that could be done here with the pentaxid tank, too. Let's investigate that. Oh, no, it can't. I need that block up on the ceiling there. Never mind. So undo that. I could try to build it up a little bit on the bottom. No, that won't work either. Keep ruling out everything. Okay, let's get rid of these bottom pieces, and let's try an alternative part. How about the ones that flare out a little bit? Make it look a little bit tougher. Alright. For the most part, that's kind of working. Now, in the back side of the warp drive, I don't know if I want people to come back here or not, but I really don't have much of anything to put there either. Let's kind of let's put in some blocks here, and that would cut off that anyway. So let's just fill that corner in. And I could leave a pathway so you can get to the backside of the warp drive, but I don't know what the purpose would be for that. But also filling it all in kind of sucks too. Now I do keep on wanting to get more fuel tanks in the ship, but there's honestly plenty of places to do that at, and I don't really want to put them next to important parts because fuel tanks are essentially the bombs in your ship. Shields down, they get tagged, it just explode and whatnot. So yeah, although this is a great opportunity to do something like that, it is pretty close to the edge of the ship on the back side here too. So I think what I'm going to do, again, to keep the size class down further too, is just to kind of fill this in. Now, one thing, you know what I could do though, I could reinforce this area a little bit. I've been trying to add some more xenoblock in places of importance. Very selective though, because I'm really concerned about weight too. But if I were to do that, that would kind of put a larger wall out here in case you get impacted here. It'll be a little bit tougher, could maybe withstand a hit or two. And we'll just put some Xeno on the inside of this. I don't normally fill things in as much as I have been on this ship, but again, yeah, size class is a thing, and I fear that if I go to full, try to detail everything as much as I possibly can muster up, it will be very high size class, probably high 30s, if not low 40s, if I really went crazy with it. So I'm trying to avoid that because that would kind of make the ship not really a functionable ship unless I really redo a lot of things on it. All right, so let's, I think this would be probably safe over in this general area. Let's try to add a fuel tank in there because, again, I wouldn't mind getting some in. But is that, the proximity is kind of close to the warp drive, but there is a lot more bulkiness back over here. So you'd have to really dig in pretty good. So yeah, I think this would be all right for a fuel tank. Safe enough, and just want to get a good amount of fuel tanks in this ship. I usually go pretty light on fuel tanks on a lot of builds, again, because they're bombs. Not because I have anything against fuel tanks or anything, but they are bombs. Okay, so now the gravity generator, what I was thinking about doing is sticking one of those here. Let's just bury this one. Doesn't really need to be visible. So a gravity generator, I'm thinking I'll put, I think that would be lining up with the one on the other side. Okay, in this block row here, if we keep everything kind of pseudo-symmetrical, although this room is completely different than the shield room on the other side in the same location. So let's put in a gravity generator. Now, for new players, do understand that gravity generators, they make gravity depending on their rotation. So if you want gravity to be normal, you would want this upright. If you were to turn it a different direction, like sideways like this, it would change the gravity, so essentially players would fall this way out in space. Now this only affects space and not on planets. Planet gravity will override whatever a gravity generator is set to, I do believe. However, I've seen some weird things. There's some weird tricks you can do with gravity generators, so there are some other options out there. Okay, so, but anyway, I wanted a gravity generator there. So that's all the main parts I did want to get into this room area. It's not that big of a room anymore, at least. It lost a little size. But now I wanted to check out if I could make this look interesting above this curvy area. This is probably going right out the hall here again. Let's take out, yeah, let's see, we took out that block. Okay, we can probably put that one back in. Let me get the steel back again. I know we want this one out. Okay, so what I wanted to do is make like something that bends up here a little bit to kind of make it look like, I don't know, some kind of weird part here where the round section is. So let's say we do one of those there, and on this side here, actually we can get by with carbon. that. Did I do that right? On both sides. No. This one needs to go back. No, that is right. Okay, never mind. Alright, so we've got that there. Let's add a little half block angle something in here for the heck of it. I could do it at a 22.5 or a 45-degree angle, but I'll try 22.5 here just to see what happens. Put one of those there, and oh, this is totally different on this side though, isn't it? Yeah, well, you know, I didn't actually mess with the blocks over here yet, so that's, yeah, we can do that. No, we can't, because that's going out to the outside of the ship. Never mind on the 22.5 either. I want to keep this part kind of symmetrical, so it just won't really work out. I think I'm gonna have to, whatever I put in here is gonna have to have a solid face to it, or top to it, I guess you could say. Well, let's see, we kind of do the same thing. We run a couple of those and get the carbon version of that over here. And then we gotta run it back into the wall line here. Yeah, right there. Okay, so yeah, I guess here we'll take that block. And I just selected that block by holding down Control and right-clicking on it, and whatever your cursor is looking at will make it your current block if you have a block selected at the time. I can do the same thing over here to grab the carbon one. So once you get some of these different shaped blocks placed with the right material, you can speed up building by just kind of selecting those and having it automatically copy over. Now another thing too, the gravity generator also puts out, I got hot because I was close to the warp drive there, but wow, why am I so hot right here? I don't get it. What is, there's no thrusters. Yeah, that's just, man, do gravity generators kick out 760 degrees Celsius now? 90 rads? I should be far away from the warp drive. There's nothing else here. There's nothing else around here. What's below me? Oh, a fusion reactor. Oh, that's what's doing it. Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay, this is a bad zone right here. Cannot let the player be there. So, and we're gonna have to do that, I think. Let me so now when I walk up along the edges here, it should be freezing like it is. I'm still getting a little bit of rads though. Look at that. Is that just because I'm in space? It is. It is because I'm in space. Okay. A little bit of rads anyway. Alright. So, alright. This can be like that. And then all we really got to do is make something that goes over the front of the warp drive to leave it visible. And hopefully make it look pretty, sort of. Let's see if we can put in some fairly simple blocks here. Like that. And let's try in a couple of these. Maybe like that. Now it's visible. It's kind of in a thing. Again, it's supposed to look kind of industrial in here too. I'll be painting a lot of that to kind of look that way. All right, so the rest of the room area here. I'm thinking I got a straight corridor coming right down here. So let's just kind of wall off some of this, and this will be some other room over there. And it would be kind of neat if this got angled in here somehow too. This is yeah, kind of a square corner for the hallway. A lot of it's kind of rounded and angled a little bit more than this, but just trying to see where the end's going to be at it. So let's angle this part in like something like that. So we got an angled corner end to the hallway here. And we probably don't need that block. And then up above here, for now, we'll just put in some more full blocks. And across the top here, let's go with one that's a little different and sticks out a little more. Just to add kind of a... So the wall's kind of broken up into two parts. We could actually follow that on down this side here too. Let's do it for now. It could get modified, but probably look a little spiffier with something going on there like that. And okay, so now coming across the front side here, let's do that, and then let's have a little fun here and maybe try to put in a beam or something that kind of comes down in this general area. See what it looks like at least. Something like that. Looks unique. Could work, might not. Hard to say. Okay, so what I'm gonna do too is pop in a cheap ceiling here. And God, should we go straight 45, or should this actually be round in the corner? I don't know. I guess I'll leave it like that. That's going to be, again, less size class to worry about. Alright, so this part here, I do want this to be a full block here. And we're going to have a doorway there. Oh, you know what, though? Oh, that's alright. Okay, so the angled part kind of lines up to this double block wide hallway coming this way. That should work out. And we got a missing block here. Alright, so the rest of this room area here, obviously there's a bunch of blocks I filled in that totally don't need to be filled in now, at least those. It's all these little areas of the ship. I'm just like, what should I do with this and what should I do with that kind of thing. But you know what? Here, we're gonna, now let's start here. We're just gonna kind of fill that part in. And can we make anything interesting and neat out in this area? We could, you know, let's fill in a little bit more since we're filling things in. So now our shape is like that, which is a little more symmetrical. And then we could try to add some kind of console display or something over there. Let's add in another angled wall here. Maybe something like that, just to get a random angle in there. And then yeah, this part here, what pieces do we have around? Do we got any like tech console pieces or otherwise here to add in? Also, I've been looking at a lot of the suggestions of other rooms to build from the last video, and yeah, I'm on board with a lot of that, or most of it actually. So it's very possible the ship's going to get a brig and a science, I forget the exact terminology in Star Trek terms, but it's like a science lab. There's Jeffrey's tubes. That's something I'm definitely thinking about too. And then, of course, you know, it's going to have the normal stuff like the holodeck and whatnot. That's going to be part of it as well. All right, so let's try to make this look like some kind of fancy, techy, well, industrial looking something with a console. And don't ask me exactly what it is, but I'll try to be kind of cheap with it, but it'd be kind of neat if it all sort of worked out. Let's try a couple pipes, and then something interesting up top here. How about something like that? And then well, let's try this shape. Don't use this shape very much. It's a new one. Some weird looking bin thing or something like that. Let's modify these two pipes and turn them so they go off to either side for the heck of it. Alright, and let's see, what else can we do here? How about some framing pieces here? How about a couple of these half ones on, oh, I kind of screwed that up on the other side. Nah. Yeah, I kind of did. All right, so let's try this. You know what? I'm not going to pull that off of that block. Just not going to do it. It's kind of wanted something going around the ceiling, but we kind of need a block like this that goes to a 45 and then back to a flat edge on this side of a double thin block to do that. So let's not use that block, and we'll do the same thing, but we're going to have to use a full block here for it. And also on this side. Oh wait, no, that would actually come out to here now, won't it? Yeah. Okay, so we can just kind of fill that back in with a bigger block. And let's put maybe a couple of these going across the top. And you know what? I think I ought to just ditch that angled surface there to keep it uniform. And then we need to add in one more of these. Alright, so now we got something over in the wall. Okay, so as in consoles and things like that, we could certainly put in something in here that looks, I don't know, engineer-like. There's not too many options, obviously. You have to do a lot more with custom LCDs. And maybe it will get some more custom LCDs at some point here, but right now I'll just use these a lot quicker. Alright, so something else that would be neat is to get something, maybe I get rid of these little angled pieces right there and instead put in, I don't know, how about some radiation signs? It does have radiation, so it's actually not mine. A couple of those like right there. Yeah. Alright, so the next part here, I think it'd be more important to have the hallway doors look better, but this one, yeah, I really can't do anything with this side. But we can do something on the inside in this case. Or no, we can't. I was just trying to think if we could, yeah, let's get rid of these 3 blocks and just do a very easy doorway frame kind of thing. One like that, one over here, and then put in this corner piece there. Okay, so now that looks a little bit spiffier. This is kind of a tall room for sure. I don't like these little flare-up angles that I got going on right there yet. It's just something that's kind of bothering me. Let's get rid of these 2 and put in this little one here. Actually, you know, this would be kind of a nice place to display a light, at least on one of those areas. Just put a couple of those in for now. And let's see, is there anything else around the bottom edge of the wall we want to do? Okay, see, these are solid blocks here. I don't believe any of these are cargo extensions or anything like that either, so I can mess with them. So I'm because I can, I will. So let's add something here. I can't mess with that block or probably that one, but all 6 of these I think can be messed with. So let's do that, and let's try to get something unique in here. Maybe like a tank or something. Let's try that idea. Yeah, let's just go straight across like that. I think it'd probably end up being better that way, and we can get rid of these for now. And on the bottom area, can we do some kind of alt curve to it with these new blocks maybe? Yeah. That's just a shape you just don't see too much, so at least so far in Empyrion. Having that new piece in there, that's kind of neat. Alright, so at this part, I don't necessarily like that little area that's hanging out here. So let's swap out that block, which needs to be steel, and this one with a slightly different version, with the lip only on one side this time. And the steel version of that as well. Like that. Alright. Now to mix this up even more. Oh, that's a weird size block there, isn't it? Yeah, there's no blocks that really line up to that, but we could add in just something different, like this or something. Let's flip that around, turn it upside down, and now it's got like a little cut in on top of that there. Alright, and then let's add a little bit of trim on both sides of this too. Let's put in a couple of these fancier blocks here, which are kind of neat. You can do a neat texture light thing on the back side. And then we'll have those come down to, how about some pipes? Some of this kind of pipe. Yeah. I think for the most part. Okay, so something else it's going to need is oxygen. And, you know what? That'd be a great place for oxygen. I'll have to use the big one. But that'll keep you, again, away from that fusion reactor, which is down there as well. A lot of stuff in the area. Okay, so now that should cover O2. Let's do a mass fill paint here a second. So I'm going to select a flat texture, replace all, and the base color, sort of. Actually, it's not really, well, yeah. And there we go. Now we got kind of a blocked out room area. Need a couple doors. Do I have those anywhere? No. Oh, I did. Alright, well, got some more. Okay, and since it's engineering, I've been using these kinds of doors on engineering rooms, typically, because it does look more engineering-like. And this side's got to be on the inside on this area there. Okay, so technically speaking, let's do something here to make sure we're airtight before moving on too much forward here. So I go over to the N key tool, then debug, and then show oxygen, and yeah, we are looking to be airtight. So totally cool. All right, so painting time. Painting time. Possible more detail. You know, really, almost kind of looks like I should have. Well, actually, before I even paint, let's do lighting. So I have a way of making it very difficult to place lights in a lot of these rooms because I do chop into the ceiling and stuff like that. But there's a couple locations here that could work, and we could actually put something over there too, like maybe an actual part, maybe a O2 tank or something. Well, let's put in like a light here, and that would kind of like light up that part of the room. I wanted to get preferably 3 lights in the room. 2 are going to be your spotlights, and 1's going to be the non-spotlight type. That's kind of a typical thing I would do on a room on this size, or well, 2 to 3 lights. You don't want to get too many lights in there. Again, they're not good for size class either. I got to figure out how I'm going to mount a light. I really wanted to get one on this wall here somewhere, but everything is going to be not very nice right now, unless I try to do something weird like this. But oops, that will kind of make that light shine upward. This is not really where I want it. However, this can be the I'll just call it the ambient light, or basically a non-spotlight. And we want one other light, maybe. God, do we got any real ceiling space anywhere here? Not really. Oh, actually, up in the corner we do. Or right above the door, actually. That could work. I know sometimes these the light's not going to look great, and they might get moved around a little bit. Okay, so let's set some values to these lights here. So this is the ambient light. And again, basically I will not turn on spotlight mode with this light. And ambient light color, I might go with this blue, keep the intensity at 1 so it's as low as it can go. And we'll give it, for now, 20 meter range. And then, okay, so the rest of the lighting in this room, I'm thinking it is engineering, it is a warp drive. I ought to go with more of a caution light or oranger light. This one's going to be in the spotlight mode. I always usually will bring those up to intensity 2, sometimes 3, depending. And maybe not we lost our 15 meter range option here. This kind of sucks. I'm going to keep it at 20 now. And let's do this one a little bit differently. Oops. And we'll set that to the same color, spotlight 2. And let's make this kind of a wide range light, so it can kind of light up that part back there, but we'll keep the range at 10. And this one will be, let's narrow this one down a little bit. So all 3 lights have different settings going on right now. It's not going to look like much until we actually get this thing painted either, though. Alright, so painting. Let's do something fun here. I've been trying to get a little color into this. So I kind of go in with the engineering theme and the ship theme. So I'm going to do a row here that can just wrap right around like that. And that's going to be our red, like metal. Get rid of a couple of jaggy lines there. And then the floor tone I've been using standard is this 3rd shade of gray over here for this part. And this can kind of wrap right around to the doors. Like that. And clean up some of the thingies there. Get rid of that one too. Now, optional, could add in a couple texture lights if anything lines up. I might try just a couple in the center, like there and there on the floor. Could do one here, but then that doesn't work out very good on the other side. But you know what? I don't think that matters. All right, and actually, let's change the ends to that. And let's put in a little like a piece like that. It kind of looks like there's some floor plating connecting to the other piece there. And then we got this inside section here. What could be done here? This is kind of trying to look techy. We could add in something different, like oh, they don't line up right now. Are they're full blocks, aren't they? What side looks better? For some reason I like that one better there. So I'm going to rotate this one. I think I can get away with that. Oh. Like that. So now they're both the same. Okay. And we got this texture area here again for something techy looking, or something that lights up. Oh no, I guess it's not just that one part. But yeah, we can use that texture there too, why not? Or, well, whatever. Okay, and let's put like that in the middle. So I got some stuff going on there. Alright, so the rest of the red part here. Kind of going to do a mix between some red, but I figured I'd do some of these frame pieces this way. Something like that. And let's get on the inside here. In fact, I'm going to save myself a lot of heartache and just blow out the warp drive when texturing here. It'll just make it a lot easier. solid pieces for those insides. Okay. Let's paint it in. Yeah, let's run this red right across the ceiling. There's kind of a seam for it already. Maybe get a couple techie vent things there. And maybe even across the top here, a couple of those. And if we really want to go crazy, maybe a couple of vents over on the other side. And we got a little bit of trim here. Keep that the same color in this case. And then let's kind of back that up with something that goes that way too. So it kind of goes all the way around. All right. On top here, let's go to a darker tone of gray for some of this, and on the inside here now, let's maybe do something like this that goes across, and maybe a big light in the middle there, or something like that, and some pieces to kind of line up to the light, and just kind of fill the rest in here. Alright, and you know what? Let's do a little bit more of the same. It was that way, and one there as well. Or should I go the other way with these? Maybe I should go that way. Alright. Get those side pieces in. Oops. Alright, so the ceiling up here, I'm thinking I'm just going to make the rest of this kind of the same gray color. So we're trying to get something in these edges here. How about a vent? Right back in those two locations. Smooth. And fill in all that stuff. Okay, those are already done. That one. And yeah, let's do that same texture here then too. And then on the bottom side, how about a couple more of these things? Let's say they do line up really nicely. How about one right below the pentaxid tank? One here. Alright, so this piece, chunk here, I think if I did red, it'll be too much red in the area, but maybe not. How about in the center we add a couple light things, and we'll just kind of make this clean there. Do we have any other techie pieces we can put in here? Is that too many lights? Might be too many lights. I don't know if I like the red. Yeah, I thought I wasn't going to like the red, and I think that's true. So let's turn that to gray instead, and we'll just paint the sides in here with the same. Not going to see a lot of this back here. Clean that up a little bit. Alright, again, you're not going to see it. Alright, but it doesn't matter. I still refuse to just not texture something. Just want to keep those textures rolling there. Okay, so let's do some little texture formation on the back of the where the warp drive's going. How about 3 lines like that? And what else can we put in there? How about a couple things like this? And okay, the ceiling here should be probably regular gray. that. Okay, so now we got our place for our warp drive. Let's get this surface area here done up. Let's try to put it in a different texture into the mix. How about some of these panels like that? Put something like that in the middle, and we'll break it up on the insides with a alternative texture. That doesn't look too bad either. Alright, oh yeah, right here too, we're missing that one. One other thing that this could be, I don't want to overdo it, but this could be like a light right there too. Alright, and also let's paint a lot of these LCDs, or these ones. Let's do that one in blue and the others in red. That's kind of what I've been doing in other rooms, just to mix it up a little bit. And the pentaxid tank is gray. That's probably fine. I don't really need to put like decals back here saying that the warp drive goes here. It will be in the ship when you get it. So let's just put the warp drive back in place. You know what though? Like, gotta do something back there. Gosh darn it. So let's at least put in a little line or something, just to look cool in case someone removes the warp drive. And see, there's detail back here for no real apparent reason, but it doesn't cost anything. So, smidgen of time. And I'll do that a lot too. It's obviously hard to place some of these parts inside the ship when you're working on it. So a lot of times I'll like go somewhere where there's room and then orientate the piece to the way I want it, and then go back to the room and then place it. So okay, so now we've got that in there. You know what I think would look better now though? That I just, here, let's undo the warp drive placement. I'm gonna paint this darker up here, I think. Let's go pretty dark with this. Really don't want to see it here, so I think that's the deal. And okay, so we still got the lines in there, and yeah, I think that'll be better. So let's put the warp drive back in again. Alright, yeah, that blacked out area there I think looks a little bit better in this case. Kind of weird right there though, isn't it? Well, okay, let's do a mix match. Partial black, and then the other part here will be, probably should be the same shade of gray as what's over there. Like that. Yeah, kind of works. It almost kind of looks like there's some kind of different framework there, although it's just flat blocks, just painted different colors. All right, so above the door, let's get. See, I would normally want to run that in this kind of build, but I got so many of them already here. I don't want to do the same thing again. So maybe just some smaller lights there. And all right, so now we've got this wall here. Mix it up with a different texture yet again. Maybe something like that in that general area. Paint the bottom. This is typically what I've been using for the wall color. So we'll spray up, or the bottom side of the wall color. And I've been going one shade darker for the layer up. And let's do that around here and up beyond that point too, so it'll be the same. And we'll have to, I'll probably paint inside the warp drive, or this area on another off screen or something there. Don't know how long this video is going so far here. And let's blacken this out with something too. How about some of that there? I can't really do the same on the other side, but yeah, let's get something more technical looking there. How about like that? Really mix it up. That's kind of dark. No, actually this should be that color. And then this can be, I don't know, maybe the same. That look bad. It's alright. Alright, so a couple more areas here to do. This, let's do a random red beam here for the heck of it. Add a little more color to it. Get a little thing to back up the light. Maybe even add in a darker gray vent here. Yeah, like that. And you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have done that red. Now that I see I want to do this red. Coming around these pieces and at the facings. And probably ought to be on the inside too. The outside will keep a different color though. And up here, let's give it something a little different to look at. How about a different texture light, but of a bunch of red lights up there. Like this is something, well, maybe not that one though. What else could we put there? That's alright. And a couple more of those. And we'll paint the wall. Our standard wall color here. So I'll get this part painted too. Behind the pipes. And then the darker tone up here. And then, I don't know, something there. Something that fits. Alright. Oops. I did that wrong. Let's get that tone. Just clear out that. Get rid of some of the jaggy lines or orientate them a little bit differently. Alright, so most of this, that part's done. Let's do something here now. Let's go dark. Again on the floor back here. Put a couple pipe end pieces there. Maybe a thing like that. Let's go even darker and black out these areas. We gotta get the inside here too. Let's another pipe end piece there, in there. Continue with the darkness in here. That's weird. Oh, I see what's going on. That's a front side and back side kind of thing. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to deal with that light there. And let's just put something across the ceiling here. Okay, so now the pipes themselves. Let's pick a different shade of gray and let's try to do these a little bit differently. Like we got a little bit of lighty stuff on the top sides of the pipes and maybe something else on the bottom side. And these two don't line up quite right, so let's rotate one of them so our orientation, so that part's filling in the same on both. And okay, so the top part, oh, I got the inside of that too. Now this, yeah, let's make this like gray. I don't think there's a whole lot of detail I can get in there any which way, but maybe something like that there. And oh, should I try one of those? Does it look techie? Alright, and flooring in here. Let's go with the base floor color and maybe just some more of this. Okay, Let's turn off that, see what it looks like. Not too bad. All right, last part of color in the room here. We can paint that separately, mainly the whole reason why. And then you should be darker gray up in those areas. Here. I'm not going to see much of that if I try to get lines in there. And the bottom, let's go tone down there. Something like that there. Oops. And let's paint these even darker yet. That. Okay, now this center section here. That's too bright on the behind that. Not dark enough here. That looks kind of neat. That. Those corners, facing of this, not much fits over that, but probably more of this. And then the back, let's do some kind of texture light thingy. How about a couple like red lights like that? And then we'll paint the top of this up. I don't know if I should use, now let's go like gray with this too. Maybe add in something here to make this look a little different. And I should match the color on the inside here. Actually, one tone darker. That's kind of where I get into these other shades over here. And we'll go back to gray there. Paint the light. Alright, quick decal thingy. Just for the heck of it. Go over the red floor here. Oops. And wrap it around the corner. And speaking of the corner, do something like that. And what could we put there? How about an oxygen tank? Why not? Something to look at. Okay, and that's right side up. And if we're just going to do an oxygen tank, we might as well do something over the top of the oxygen tank. Maybe a couple more beams. Yeah, that should work. Paint these up. Probably, this will probably be red too, just like all the other beams in the room. And there. Okay, let's paint that a little darker. This wall. Let's do this wall in facing in gray. Because, don't know, just think it's going to look a little bit better. There's a lot of, the longer I've been building, there's a lot of times that I run into those kinds of things where it's like, well, why do that? And it's like, because why not? You know, it's a different tone on the one wall. It's just one of those things. It's just doesn't. Yeah, it kind of works out. Okay, so now what I think's going on with the room is the lighting seems a little meh. So I think a lot of that has to do with this light I've got going on right here. So if we got rid of that light, at least temporarily, so we've got some red on both sides here. Maybe maybe I just had that a little bit too much. I don't like where it's placed, though. I really do not like that location for a light. But I wanted to get that ambient light in the room somewhere. And it doesn't, you know, because it doesn't have to point at anything or anything like that either. It just has to be somewhere. It's just there's no good locations for this. What if it was oriented like that? And let's change the, let's put this to ambient, but let's just keep it red this time and see if it looks any better. Or is that just too much red? Or maybe this one over here goes to blue over by where that is. I'm trying to get that color fluctuation in these rooms. But it just looks a little too bright right now. Let's lower down the radius on this one. Or we could try to go to a gray light as well. Something that just doesn't feel right with the lighting in here. What if that was actually blue? We are getting some red from these LCDs in here too. But why does it just seem so bright right now? Maybe it's... Hold on, for reference, let me just see what this room's looking like. Looks a little calmer. You know what? There's something else I turned off too because it likes to overheat my video card. But when I'm doing this, I really should turn on some of these better video options to really see what this looks like. But my computer doesn't like it very much, that's for sure. So let me get back up into this room, see what it looks like with these options on. It doesn't look awful. It's just doesn't. It's not quite doing it either. What if that one was a little bigger? This one went back to blue. See, now the whole thing's blue. And maybe this one went to red. I'm trying to get that double tone in there, basically. Well, anyway, that's it. Probably could use a couple more tweaks, couple little things in here, but it's generally complete on the room there. Do a little trim around the door there, and you know, gotta just add some random dots in a couple places here too for the heck of it. Where's a good place to put some dots? How about we put some dots there and some dots here? So we got a couple dots by the door. Yeah, there's just so lack of options. You know, putting in anything is better than nothing, generally speaking. So that's kind of what that's about. And for some reason, hold on, let's go all the way down the hallway and check out the warp or the other room over here. You see how this room is darker looking? It is bigger looking in here too. A little more open, but it just, for some reason, this room over here is just looking so bright. And okay, here's another idea. Let's turn down, no, that already, let's take this down. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just trying to juice up that light just way too much on the radius. And let's take this one down a little bit too. And let's restore this one to red, but put it at 10. That's a little better. Again, clean industrial look here. This is probably the last industrial clean room that's going to look or be kind of done this way in the ship. I think this is it. There's like 4 different room areas that are following this general scheme, but they're all, you know, parts rooms, like, you know, all this stuff. Or maybe, you know, there's just too much white in here. Hold on. I'll just paint a couple things a little bit differently in here and darken it up with colors. Sometimes, you know, it's just one of those things, you get to a certain point and it's like, yeah, there's nothing really I have against the block work or any of that. It's just trying to dial in the room, and on the last part of it. And that is sometimes just making little adjustments like that could darken up the warp drive, the pentaxid tank. And let's darken up this chunk as well. There, and let's see, there's that one, there's 3 of these. See if this helps at all. That already is painted like that, so for there. What about on this side? Now I see that white back there. And this is awfully bright too, so let's darken this up in here. And yeah, this is going to be darker on the inside of this area as well. How about we take that whole side and paint it like that? Yeah, another gray wall in there. Might as well just finish this since I'm in here doing it. Not much to do in here anyway. Alright, and let's make the whole thing darker. There, so now that doesn't stick out as much. Got a little bit more gray, darker gray contrast in here, a little bit more fluctuation on the ceiling. Is this right? Oh, that's right. I did that tone there. Okay, so we got that tone there. Let's do a tone up on the front side. Okay, that already is. Okay, so that gives us a little bit more distinct shadow. And yeah, I think that's okay at this point. We got oxygen, we got our warp drive, we got our pentaxid tank, we got a gravity generator, and we got our it connects to everything else here. And yeah, I'll have to do the hallway area here. Figure out, I don't know if that beam thing is going to stay that way or not. Well, it's kind of fun, at least. But yeah, okay, I would say this is probably looking pretty much on par with the other engineering rooms. The only, the last thing though, oh, that already is gray right there, isn't it? Okay, just wondering if maybe I should darken up the ceiling just a little bit more there. But yeah, okay, we'll stop there. Anyway, you can see like another room on the ship, and is kind of how I go about doing these builds like this, trying to do it one room at a time, except for layout things, really trying to figure out where the rooms are going to be in the first place, and the hallway structure and stuff like that. But and then try to detail it as much as I can. Now this room's not super big, did lose a lot of space than what it could have had due to filling in a lot of these blocks and things like that, but it's going to help a little bit with the size class on that too. So it shouldn't be as bad. And let's see how that affected the size class on the ship. I'm still 17. I started out at 17. I'm still 17. I didn't add that much size class overall on the room. It's not a very big room, but at least it's not going to break the bank there. And it's a one little smidgen piece closer to being done. But as I'm building the ship out, I'm trying to build all the important rooms first and the fluff rooms later, because again, it's all about the size class. I want to make sure all these rooms that are going to stay here, regardless of if there's 2 different versions of the ship, that go out to the workshop. One being a lower size class than the other. But these rooms are going to be the same on either. So all these general rooms like that, and the fluff rooms are the ones that are going to be attacked. And I haven't really yet done much in fluff rooms, just a little bit, coming through the this corridor right over here. I think this is kind of like the only fluff room I've got, but it's like it's a hallway too. It's needed to get around. And stuff like that. So other than that, everything else is pretty much non-fluff in the ship, and I think it's looking on par. I think the newest engineering area is kind of looking on par with the rest of the this deck on the ship. Now, what I'm going to also be doing is like this is one deck, so this deck has this red trim going on in a certain way. Like the next floor up here might be blue or something. So I'm going to try to mix this up as I go too, to have each deck up in the saucer area have a little bit of a distinct color coding to it for the heck of it, going down the general hallways and things like that. So that's just something I was thinking about as well. Other than that, man, this video is probably really going on now. I'm going to shut up, and one last look over here. That's what it turned out to be. Woohoo! And you'll have yourself a great afternoon. I will talk to you later.